From day one, we'd been seeking to build a community of Christ followers that love God and express that love to others. And we had accomplished to a certain point, it was time for a home. It really became clear God was calling us to this place at this time. And that we were to take this ground, this 3 acres in Rogers, and to just establish the presence of the Church of Jesus Christ here. And that we were to take this spot and we were to maximize it for His glory. We are at a moment where we could say, that's good enough. And nobody would fault us. We could, I suppose, coast. That's not what we're called to do. We're called to make a kingdom impact. And a big part of when we, in 2009, moved into this place and we understood that we were called to take this place and to maximize this place for God's glory, for the sake of the gospel, to grow people up in their faith in Jesus Christ, so that they would meet Him and then really become to follow Him. We knew that we are going to have to expand this building. And 2014, we stepped forward and we put the first edition on. We had hoped to do both the what's currently the great room and what we're talking about doing today at the same time, but that became financially unfeasible, and we felt as an overseer team irresponsible. We just decided to limit the scope of that project and that we would come back again. We just believe with all our heart, after as a leadership team, probably a year of prayer, that it really is time to move forward with this completion of the footprint of this building, to expand this building, to balance the ministry of this building.
The space will be designed for younger kids. It'll be a space where they can be kids, where we can let kids be kids. We're also adding on office space, and that will be amazing for the staff, sure, but also for the congregation. We often have a hard time finding a private space to meet. By moving the children out of the rooms that they're currently using and just kind of moving things around, once we do that, the youth will have more spaces to be able to use on Sunday mornings. We really want to be a church that reaches our whole community.
This is a moment where if we do this, Jesus said, that you would bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. And this is a moment I am asking God, and I want you to join me in asking God that we would bear much fruit. I've just been in the Dominican Republic, and I've been talking to Pastor Olman and Pastor Karin and our new partners, Impact Lives, who are so awesome at facilitating cross-cultural relationships. We are on the verge in Honduras of doing things that I just believe are going to have a powerful ripple effect in the country of Honduras through the ministry of Fuente de Vida and what Pastor Olman is doing there. And I just think that that's one example. That's just one example of all that God has for us and all that we can do. I shared this on the annual meeting Sunday of the time that Tom Steinley, who's leading the Search Forward, and Terry and myself had met just to talk about getting ourselves organized for this. And we closed with a pretty intense time of prayer as we were meeting. And I just, a picture came into my mind, and it was kind of faded in. And at first I thought it was just like some kind of bell curve, but as it gathered and as it grew, I realized it was a wave, and this wave was about to crest. And there was a few things about this wave that, in my mind and at heart, that were very, very certain. One is that that this wave was being built by everything that we had done to date as a church. Every small group that had met and served and loved one another. Every children's ministry class, every youth ministry class, every dollar that had been given toward the ministry, every act of love and service that had been done, for one another, the passion for people, you just take it, everything that we have done in loving God and loving each other, every worship service, and in making a difference in this community. And it was like it was all building up, and this was this moment where there was this wave was about to crest, and I just felt this intense urgency. I mean, it was like, and it's kind of crazy, but it's like I just had this vision of this completed building on that wave, kind of like a surfboard. And as the wave crested, we started to move and we started to go. And there was just, all I can say is tremendous urgency that this is the wave, that we need to do this so that we can accomplish all that God has for us, that we can have the kind of kingdom impact that God wants us to have. I believe, as we have done this, that it is a possibility that we can not only do this building, but pay down our debt. One of the things we've always talked about at overseer meetings is, and in annual meetings and such, we've talked about how we've been trying to balance margin, because that's a big part of the kingdom impact. We wanted to buy this place, maximize it, but at a certain point, it's only 3 acres. There's only so much maximizing that can be done. And this is the last maximizing thing. And once we get this done, to pay off our debt and to stay put here, and then to be able to really look out and focus on the ministry that we are doing. And it just strikes us, this is a moment where we can add this addition on, and Lord willing, as the Lord prospers us and enables us, that we can pay off this debt. And whereas in the past we've talked about having ministry margin and financial margin and how we're always kind of balancing those two as the church has been going, this is a moment to create both at the same time, and to kind of be done with this phase in the life of the church. Not because it's an end, but because it's a beginning.